Okay, guys, how you doing? We're going to be talking about 9.4 today, and you'll notice that if you look, we have surface area prisms and surface area prisms. So we're going to spend 2 days on that because it's generally a hard subject for you guys. So it takes more time. We're going to try and do something with it. So, okay, good luck. Okay, so let's move on to this. Let's look at what we have for today. Okay, so let's get into this. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to match A, B, and C with 1, 2, 3, or 4. And we're trying to see, do you understand what this net means? These are called nets, right? And what this means is if we unfolded this three-dimensional shape, which shape would we get? So let's look at some hints. Okay, first of all, if I look at number 4, it has two circles. Well, and this side has this circle and this circle, right? So that's probably what's going to happen now. So this is a good thing to keep notes on too, because it helps you to understand that the cylinder, right, is going to have two ends, but it wraps around. So what wraps around it is a rectangle. Okay, so these are the two circles on the end, right? And so then this is the part that some people don't understand is that's a rectangle because it's going to be the same. It's going to be as long as the circumference. So from here to here is the circumference, right? And then it's going to be as tall as it is tall from here to here. Okay, so that's going to be that it matches C. Okay, look at this next one. And if I look at B, it has two triangles, right? It has a triangle here and a triangle here. The rest are rectangles. So look at it. There's a rectangle on the back. That would be a rectangle. There's a rectangle on the bottom. So that would be a rectangle, right? And then there's the face that would also be a rectangle. So this part here would be a rectangle, right? If you think about it, a triangle is going to have three sides, and we're wrapping around those three sides. So it's going to have the triangle on both sides. So it has two triangles, right? And those were these, right? That's what we drew in. Okay, and then we have the face, which looks to be probably the longest, right? And then we had the base, which is on both sides of the triangle. So it's going to imagine that's going to be that. And then we had this. So this is 2 is B. Okay, then we look at this one. Now, this one, A, has no triangles. So it can't be 3. 3 cannot be an option. Matter of fact, this is what a pyramid looks like. If we were going to do surface area of a pyramid, this is what you would be making as a pyramid. Okay, so it's got to be A, right? And when I look at this, I can see sides, right? So I have a side here and a side here, and they're congruent, right? So I have this, and I have a top and a bottom that are the same. So that's these. Okay, and then I have my faces, my face here, and there's a face in the back. So that's these, okay? Okay, it's important that you understand how to interpret that and be able to see it. It's going to be important. Because when we break it up, we want to be able to tell measurements, okay? And when we're going to do the surface area, what we're talking about is how much it's how much paper does it take to wrap this thing? What's the area of the surface? So we know that the area of a rectangle is length times width, right? We're just going to have a lot of length times widths. And we're going to have to be able to determine, well, what are those? So if we look, D is this measure here, because that's this far, right? That's how wide the thing is, right? And then we're going to have to look and we see that we have B and C, right? We have these right here. And then this side. So we have two of each sides, right? One of the rectangular prism. That's important to understand. And then we have two faces, right? So we have two faces that would be, this part here. And then there's the back part. So that's these, right? So what we really have to determine is, what are the rest, right? So if we look, this must be 10 by 7. Because that seems like that's the longer side, right? And then we have the longer side. So this has a measure of 2, right? From here to here is 2. From here to here is 2. And so if we looked, we said that the blue ones, that's going to be these, right? And so those are going to be 2 by 10. So this is 10, this is 2. Okay, and then we have this side here and this side here. And so that's going to be these. Okay, so that's 7 tall, and that's 2 wide. So if you look, we have 2 of the faces, which is 7 by 10. Plus, we're going to have 2 of these, right? So we're going to have 2 of the 2 by 7. Plus, we're going to have 2 of the 2 by 10s, right? These pieces here. So we have 2 times 70, which is 140 square units, plus 2 times 14, which is going to give us 28 square units, right? And then we're going to have 2 times 20, which is 40. Okay, so we're going to add these together. So that's going to be 140 plus 68, so 208 units squared. Once we did, we added, because it was a rectangular prism, in all rectangular prisms, you're going to have 2 of the side, of one side, 2 of another side, and 2 of another side, because there are 6 sides. Notice when we have a rectangular prism, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's always 6 sides to a rectangular prism. So that's what you got to be careful of, that you're always adding 6 sides. If you're drawing the net on a rectangular prism, you got to make sure that it always has 6 sides. Okay, so when we draw this, what we're going to do is kind of think about it. You don't have to draw the net out every time. When you look at it, you could just say, and this is kind of an optical illusion. So you want to look at it and be able to see that, okay, here's one side, and these are 2 opposite sides, right? So I know that I have 2 of these sides, and that they're going to be 6 by 4, right? So I'm going to have 2 sides that are 6 by 4. Okay. Plus I have to have the top and the bottom, right? So my top and bottom, here's my bottom, here's my top. I got to look at my measurements on those. So the top and the bottom are going to be 6, right, by 8. So I'm going to have 2 6 by 8s. Okay, so the last one I got to look at is my faces. And I'm going to have the face here, and I have the back. So now that we have that, so we look and we say the front and the back are, right, they're going to be this. So they're 4 by 8. So we're going to have two 4 by 8s. Okay, so now I just add, I know I'm going to have meters squared because it's area, right? So it's going to be, so I'm going to have 2 times 24 is 48 meters squared, plus I have 2 times 48, which is 96 meters squared, plus I have 2 times 32, which is 64 meters squared. So it has a surface area of 208 meters squared. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's, you can draw out the net and calculate the surface area with the net, or you can draw out, just shade it in and make sure you understand that you always have, notice what we have. We always have three sets, three different sides, and we always have two of those three different sides. So there's 6 sides altogether. Just make sure you're always doing that. Now this one, go ahead and draw the net. See if you can draw the net for this. And there's more than one way to draw this net. So draw the net, see if you can draw it, and see if you can come up with a surface area. Okay, so as I draw this, I'm shading it in, okay? So if I look, what I've done is I've drawn this shape, right here. So that's a 5 by 4. And then I'm going to just wrap around, right? So that means I've got this shape here, which is a 5 by 6. So that's here, okay? And I'm going to have a face. So that's going to be my wraparound, right? Because I'm going to have this down here still. So that piece is going to be repeated here, and this piece is over here. So that's my wraparound that I've chosen, which means now I have also this piece here in the front and the back. Now those become my side wedges. Those are 6 by 4s. Okay, so those are those two sides, okay? So those are my faces. And then I still have those other two sides, so I just have to draw those. Okay, so now I'll just label all my lengths, right? So this is 6 feet. That's going to be 4 feet. Then I just have to figure out my, now notice I have, if this is side A and B in the back, I have A and B here, right? If this is side C and on top, this is D right here, right? And then as I wrap, I have E over here and F there on the bottom. So there's the way it comes out, okay? Now I'm doing now is adding them. So you could go ahead and do all 6 shapes. You could do it the way we talked about, where we just set up our 2 faces plus our top and bottom plus the 2 sides, right? And then figure out their measures. So our faces were the 6 by 4s right here. And then we had our bases, which were 6 by 5. We had our sides, which were 5 by 4. Notice we have a 5 by 4 and a 5 by 4 here, right? We have our 6 by 4s, which are right here. And we have our 5 by 6s, which are here. Okay, and so that's all the shapes accounted for. Okay, so you could do that, and then you just say you have 2 times 24 plus 2 times 30 plus 2 times 20. Right? And so that's 48 plus 60 plus 40. It's 148 feet squared. And if you look, you also have another way to look at this, because in reality, you could say, oh, look, I have one big rectangle. And that one big rectangle is 5 feet wide and 20 feet. From here to here would be 20 feet long. Plus I have the two here that are 6 by 4s. So there's my 6 by 4s. And 5 by 20 is 100. And there's my 100. I mean, there's so many different ways to tear this apart. You just have to show your work on your math, be able to communicate it. And the more organized you are, the less likely you are to make mistakes. That's pretty much the gist of this. That one you were supposed to do on your own, so hopefully you got 148 feet squared. If you didn't, look it over. Maybe you got to draw more. Maybe you got to be more careful. I really think that this method right here, if you can visualize it, is the simplest way to do it. Is to remember you have two of each side. I think drawing a net out can help. And if that works for you, do that. But you got to choose which way you're going to do it. That's the bottom line. And then show your work. Okay. Hey, good luck with this. Now you're going to have more. They're going to get more difficult. But these are basic rectangular prisms. That's all we're asking you to do. The next lesson is the triangular prisms, which get a little harder. So good luck with this. Hey, have fun with it. This is the geometry end, so some of you are going to struggle, some of you are going to be successful, and just be great with it. Okay, good luck.